Yo, what's good, everyone? Crustlord here, aka Noah, aka uh, Roger Goodell. Here, here with Week 1 match with the Syracuse Oranguru versus the Detroit Cobalions, or the Cobalions, whatever. I have Carlos here with me,
Yo,
coach of the OKC Electivire. No, yes, Electivire.
yes.
I'm right. And then so we've got a match here. Okay, both Jordan and Brandon don't get offended. Don't.
Yeah, no, this is a rough match to watch. There's a lot of
Yeah,
just oof.
there's a lot of questionable plays that could have swayed the game one way or the other, and the outcome was very disappointing. So let's just get right into it. All right. So first of all, just gonna point out, why'd he lead with Celesteela? Because Donphan was the obvious lead. He really should have either sent out Latias or Gyarados. Gyarados to either scare out or set up on the Donphan, and then Latias to defog the rocks away. That
And
was,
like he even shows that he wishes he led with Gyarados because he switches straight into it.
yeah, so he should have thought a little bit harder on the first play. Alright, switch out into here, and then interesting exchange happens where they kind of trade, and then he switches into Donphan here, and he can't switch out, and he has priority since there's rocks, so he just dies. Now, I'm kind of mixed on it because it's kind of worth it because Gyarados is a huge threat, but it's also kind of not because Electros is really good against half of his team, like literally. So I'm thinking maybe he could have saved it, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like you really want to keep Gyarados around. He has Blissey's a switch in, even if it has superpower. Like I don't think it's too much to worry about. You can switch around. Like this exchange, it's worth it in a sense that it eliminates a potential threat, but at the same time, you're giving him Gyarados, and unless he gets the flinch there with Waterfall, I don't really think it's worth it.
For sure.
Because you're giving up Gyarados, this thing that could potentially sweep his team.
Yeah. And honestly, the only thing that it doesn't really do too much against is I'm presuming it has like crunch or something like that. Uh,
Yeah, we don't get to see its whole set.
but if it had crunch and water, does it get crunch? I don't know. Some dark move, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Um, it would do really well against his team, so I'm a little confused on both sides of that exchange. I felt like Jordan should have switched out after he got down to six, probably into D Knight, and then it wouldn't have done the waterfall wouldn't have done too much since because of the scales, and then he could have e-speeded. Um, so I don't know about that play on both sides, but whatever.
Yeah.
Life goes on. What was that ice shard? That
Yeah,
was
really though, the play he should have made is going into whatever he's gonna kill Sila with, and it shows out turns out to be Infernape. Like,
because he doesn't have Electros anymore.
yeah, but because he exchanged Electros earlier, I feel like turn six. That's the you'll see as it goes on. That's the only chance he had to switch in Infernape
Yeah.
versus the Sila before it gets speed, before it could do anything to you. And he could have either threatened it out or done a huge amount of damage to it, and then Dragonite could come in and kill it, or
hmm
whoever. Um, but you just never really know. Maybe Jordan was worried about Z moves or other items, and he just wanted to weaken it.
Or
That's the
maybe
only thing
he
I can think of.
maybe I spoiled something. Maybe like he thought Donphan was expendable, but I don't think it was because it was like one of the only things to take out Pex because nothing else can really take. I guess Cress, but like Actually, yeah, never mind. He has Crest. I guess maybe he thought it's expendable, but it's really risking if Cella's a setup thing,
Yeah.
and a lot of the time it is. So I don't know. Questionable play on both sides. So going back, you kind of saw it. All right, so he switched into D Knight. Probably should have switched into Nape, but whatever. And then he Z flies. Does 27%.
Yeah. That's the thing where you can see in the calc how much damage that's gonna do. Like I know some people don't like looking during a battle, but before the match you should see how much Z Fly does versus or whenever you're doing it. You know it's not gonna do much to Steela just naturally. There's no point to waste it there. Like all you need to do here in this exchange is what apparently he's trying to do is just weaken Steela and sack Dragonite for Infernape. So there's no reason just to waste that Z move, like it, or even just waste Dragonite right there. It's just weird.
Yeah, that was a weird play on Jordan's part, kind of choking a little bit. And then he continues to stay in with D-Knight and completely sack it, even though it does really well against Latias, who is foreshadowing going to be very important in this battle. I
Yeah.
very much disagree with his decision to
Every bit of
sack
damage on
off.
Latias would have been nice.
Very true. So he sacks off D-Knight, then he basically sacks off Infernape, so 2 mons for 1. It's looking pretty grim for Jordan. Um,
Until Brandon decides to start to try and throw in turn 14.
so turn 14, he decides to switch into Pex. This is
Which
interesting.
loses to the last 3 Pokemon.
And he subcalm mines and he toxics and he decides to continue to stay in. Why?
Depending on the game could have been over here with Cresselia if Brandon stayed in a little longer or he set up more calm mines or just various things. But
Yeah, this is
those
actually one of the worst possible times to switch out. Ugh. Ugh. What I would have done here, because the U-turn is coming, turn 19, I would have pressed sub, personally. And then
yeah,
continue to...
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because then you would get another turn of Calm Mind, and, I'm... Wait, does it break... No, it doesn't even break sub, it does 23%.
Yeah, so he could have got a
Seismic
sub
Toss.
up
So he could
versus
have got
Blitzing.
2 free Calm Minds for not much HP.
He really should have subbed on this Blissey and then maxed out Calm Minds.
Yeah, because not maxing out the Calm Minds really hurt him, and honestly, yeah, it hurt him. That's all I'm going
Like
to
the
say.
Blissey and Toxapex right there were just set up fodder for
Yeah,
Cresselia, and he didn't use it.
he didn't... Oh my god. Why didn't he sub or Calm Mind here? He really... Because he's not going to kill you in Seismic Toss anytime soon, and you have Moonlight, so you're fine, and he's doing less than 25%. So you're fine. You're golden to set up a sub since it can't even break it in one hit. So you either sub or you continue to max out your Calm Mind. You have to be all out setup when you're against a threat. And if you need to take advantage of setup fodder. But he just decides to kill it. Well, he's only at +4 on each stat, which really hurt him when... Okay, first of all, turn 23.
Yeah, that was very questionable. Going for recover, like, you outspeed, you need to start calm minding. Like, just like Jordan needs to finish up calm minding, like, he'll soon reveal that's his set, sort of spoiler, but not really because he goes for the next turn. But because they're both calm mind, basically it's a battle to see who gets maxed out and whatnot. And Jordan's for some reason won't max out his calm minds, and Brandon throughout this exchange won't just doesn't want to calm mind until later. It's really confusing on both ends.
Mm-hmm. So right here, he decides a Psyshock that does less than half, so that should be his wake-up call, like, hey, I should probably, you know that this is going... Oh, I can hear echo. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
it's good. You know that this is going to be a PP war, since you have very limited attacking moves, and you kind of need them, because you've got another Stallmon coming up, so you really have to preserve them. So wasting Psyshocks and not maxing out as soon as possible really, really hurt Jordan.
Yeah, like if he just maxed out earlier versus that Blissey, it was probably just game right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was anything Brandon could do.
Because, as we soon find out later, Psyshock does 50% and over. Or
Yeah.
it's like around there. It's like 49 or 48 to like 53 or something like that.
When he maxes out, it hits exactly 50, but it's like we never get to see much of him actually using Psyshock at max because he waits too long and uses up all his Psyshocks.
Yeah, for sure. One interesting thing I would like to point out later, though, is because it comes up. So let's see. He wastes 1, 2, 3, 4. So he wastes 4 Psyshocks for no reason. And he's back to full, and he's just now maxing. So that's 4 Psyshocks just gone that he could have used later.
Yeah.
And here's the sub that should have...
really needed.
My bad. Here's the sub that should have came out way earlier. Why didn't he Psyshock here? I mean, why didn't he Calm Mind here on turn 20? Ugh. It's just... You're going to hear me repeat. If you're in a stally game and you have boosting moves, make sure you max before you use your PP.
Especially with Cresselia, where
you're not doing too much damage.
Shots.
Yeah. Right here, though, 1%, 2%, 6%. It was so close. He was almost won the game. And then he finally got his +6, and it's a little bit too late now.
Yeah, just imagine on that 1% roll, if he was at +6, that almost definitely kills right there.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that has to kill. Like it's just crazy.
Right now, I don't know what that Calm Mind was for because he has a couple left, but it's pretty much over for this Crest. So what he should do now is he only has a couple Psyshocks left. So what he should do now is he's about to run a PP soon. Just stall as much PP as possible, and you get a free switch into something. The Dawn fan, it has play rough. You can hope for that. I mean, it's probably going to die, but, it'll continue to waste PP, and it's something. But Jordan he switches out and completely sacks. Ugh. This could have won him the game if somehow he beat Latias. So basically, he's just throwing the game away. And it's a very low chance of winning now, but that kind of sealed it. So from now on, it's just kind of some more stalling and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it really was that there were a bunch of little exchanges. There were big 3 main exchanges: the Seedless Steel, the Gyarados, and the Latias versus those matchups.
And the
that
setup
really
fodder
just sealed
too.
the battle.
And the setup fodder too.
Yeah, that too. There were a bunch of little exchanges here and there throughout the battle that both of them messed up on a lot, and it just ended up going Brandon's way. Like I think this battle could have gone either way, really.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a few rolls here in that Calm Mind exchange, and yeah, it was tough to watch to see A lot of opportunities wasted with these mons
Mm-hmm.
in this battle. I feel like they both. I don't think either of them prep poorly.
Yeah, I think they
There was
both
nothing
prep
on their
well.
teams that they missed or anything like that. It's mostly just little plays here and there.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, if they both played optimally, this could have been a really entertaining match, just back and forth. And then just, kind of just waiting. But one thing I do want to point out is that Jordan didn't get a single crit, and the likelihood of that is very, very slim. If he crit once while he was like, in the range, he would have just won. And that's really kind of unfortunate, but then again, he should have played better and he didn't have to rely on a crit, which didn't come his way, so that just goes to show play optimally and then you won't have to settle for luck. But anyway,
Mhm.
Brandon wins the battle 3-0. Kind of a weak 3-0, but whatever. Um so in the end, I would encourage both players to just kind of watch this video and take our criticism. I'd like don't take it personally, but just take it as like a getting better tool.
Yeah,
Cause
I think going out of this match, both coaches should be happy overall. Like I know both of them misplayed at various times, but I feel like their prep was very solid overall, and both of them obviously had many chances to win. In a battle like this, I feel like neither of them were like even with all the misplays overall they played well, and they looking going forward I could see them both performing very well in the future.
yeah, definitely. They both have potential after watching this game, and there's flares of you know really good
Brilliant.
battling. But just general kind of fundamental misplays that really and kind of decisions that really swayed the game and because there were really like I would like three main swings. The first one being Jordan sacking the D Knight and not killing the Sella like as soon as possible, because if the D Knight was still alive, actually the first one is actually uh, not saving the Electros, because then the Electros could have helped with the Celesteela, and then you would have still had Infernape probably, and then Infernape could have help you turn the Latios, and this would have all been different. And then the other one being Brandon not switching out of his setup fodder like ASAP.
Yeah.
Because if he set up alongside the crest with his Latios, he would have won the PP war, and he just had more. He would have had both of his other Stallmons that would have just outlasted Jordan's other team, the rest of his team. So, kind of fundamental misplays on both sides, but, you know, decent match. Could have been better, but I'm looking forward to both these teams in the future, and hopefully they can learn from their mistakes in this game.
Yep. It was a very solid matchup, and uh, just like to see them both just take in what they got from this match, and going forward, just try and be a little more careful with the little plays, because I think they got the overall concept down fairly well, and I think they can. They seem like very competent battlers that have a very solid chance to go make deep runs if they put their minds to it and get rid of these little mistakes and optimize on their opponent's mistakes.
All right. Sounds about good. All right. So, hype for the rest of the season. Look forward to the rest of the week one matches. And we'll see you guys next time, guys. Peace.